Hello everyone, welcome to my unboxing of the Loid Forger Nendoroid. He just arrived from Japan. I ordered him from Amimi and it took them a while to ship him. So today I'll be doing a quick unboxing and then we'll take a look at how much it costs to ship him all the way from Japan to Australia. Okay, let's get started by looking at the outside of the box. As usual for Nendoroids, there are a bunch of different poses that you can put them in that you can see. As you can see at the bottom, there is actually an Onion Nendoroid coming out soon, I believe at the end of this month. One quick look at the bottom, and a quick look at the top. Okay, let's take a look at what's inside the box next. Let's get him open here. I usually open my Nendoroids from the bottom. That's often where the instructions are kept, which you can see here. And then there's also the packaging for the doll and the individual parts. So let's take a look at the instructions quickly. Okay, looking at the instructions, they are always double-sided, with one side being English and the other side being in Japanese. The first side we'll see here is the English side, and turn it over, you'll see the Japanese. It's both the same information and just takes a look at the parts. Next, let's look at the plastic casing holding the figure and all of the parts. So usually with Nendoroid, you'll get quite a few different parts, usually including 2 faceplates in addition to the one that comes on the figure. They'll also be usually wrapped in a lot of plastic to protect the paint during shipping. So here Loid has 3 different pieces on him. The first is on the neck joint. This is to protect the head from getting paint from the body. Next we'll have the torso and the leg joint. And then last, there's one covering the hair and the face. Sometimes when you first open Nendoroids, it's a bit stiff. As you can see here, I had problems with the hair, but once you get it off, it's usually quite easy. Now let's take a closer look at the body and the paint job. I think the colors they chose and the paint job they did on this figure was really good. Let's now look at the extra parts. So this is his angry faceplate. Next we have his disheveled hair. So that's how it goes into the face. Next we have a happy face. So if we turn it around here, we'll see how it attaches to the figure. Then we have a little spy newspaper. So some parts are actually blacked out, as you can see. It's not in any sort of legible language. Next we have some figure parts, so we have 2 different arm pieces and 4 different hand pieces. And last we have Loid's gun. Okay, let's get Loid set up on his stand for the first time. So as I said before, sometimes attaching parts for the first time on Nendoroids can be a little difficult, and I had a little bit of trouble getting the stand into his back. As for most people, one of my favorite parts about the Nendoroids is just how opposable they are. Their legs and arms are quite easy to manipulate. I've been collecting Nendoroids for about 2 years now, and I have a shared collection with my girlfriend. So in the future, maybe I'll show them all off. But for today, let's just take a look at Loid. Now that we have his first set up here on the base plate, let's give him a quick spin. After this, we'll start looking at some different poses we can do with him. Now that we have him all set up on the base plate here, let's start setting him in some poses and check out some of his accessories. Well, that's all for the unboxing. Let's take a look how much it cost to get Loid from Japan over to Australia. As I said earlier, I used Amimi to order Loid. Amimi is able to ship to Australia pretty easily, but you have a few options on how they send it to you. If you're overseas, you have 4 options for delivery. First is EMS, which is done by Japan Post. This has tracking and can be reasonably fast, but it usually is quite expensive. The next is DHL. This is the fastest option and in my experience is cheaper than EMS. Next is Air Small Packet, which is specifically for smaller orders. It's the cheapest, but takes the longest and doesn't track outside of Japan. Finally is Air Parcel, which I've personally never used because it requires the other three options to be unavailable for your order. Now that we have that explained, let's look at this order for Loid. As you can see, for this order I used Air Small Packet. The Loid figure was 5,460 yen, which at time of recording is about 60 Australian dollars. Shipping was 1,270 yen, which is roughly 14 Australian dollars, and finally Australian GST, which was 673 yen, which is roughly $7.40 Australian. Remember that the GST is affected by the shipping cost, so the more the shipping, the higher the GST. Altogether, the order came to 7,403 yen, which is $81.30 Australian. Well, that's everything for this Loid figure, but I do have another order on the way and I'll get another order next month, so I'll be doing another breakdown of those when I get them. Thanks for watching. This was my first video and I hope to make more in the future. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. If you have any figures on pre-order, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.